Plaza Vines. Plaza needs no introduction at this point. Staple Demacia card. This was originally a viewer submission that they told me I had some freedom to make some changes to, and their original submission didn't have it actually didn't have Demacia in it at all, I don't believe, but they were playing a bunch of cards that are good with overgrown snap vines, are also incidentally very good with Plaza. So the original submission I got had Blighted Caretaker and Pesky Spectre and Hapless Aristocrat and I believe Cursed Keeper in it, and like all of these cards, in addition to being great with our Snapvines here at the top end, are also good with Plaza. What does Snapvines do? This card is less popular than Plaza. Whenever you summon a follower, kill it to summon an overgrown Snapvine. I also love the related cards in this card are just a bunch of other Snapvines. It's just a really, really good cheeky attention to detail here that I love. So basically, Plaza's sweet in this deck because our Snapvine enablers are also good Plaza enablers, which in a way gives us a lot of payoffs. So that way, we don't end up with a bunch of cards that put a bunch of units into play when we don't have Snapvines. We also get to play things like both Glimpse and Stalking Shadows here, so we can find our Snapvines somewhat consistently. So let's go ahead and dive on into some games with this one and see how it goes. Xtol fan, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. They are playing Sajani Timo. Well, I mean, the rest of these keep the Cursed Keeper, look for like a Blighted Caretaker or something to go with it. Perfect.
Humanity is obsolete.
We weren't expecting callers.
Alvantropo, thanks for the follow. Welcome.
Disengaged.
Open attacks here and deploy Plaza, methinks.
Flesh was weak, but look at me now.
That's such a good command, Zintoth. I want you to know I appreciate you.
Prime and ready. Join me if you want to live. System upgrade.
Ooh. Good chance Lucian just eats it here, but that's fine. Actually, if they try and make him eat it, we get to Glimpse, right?
Safety disengaged.
Ballistic Thought is very good in the opponent's archetype, especially with Starlit Seers and other things that care about playing units.
Perfection.
Maybe tried Victor with Stalker and Snapvines to try and get infinite. I don't know about. I know Swim tried Victor and Stalker together, but I don't think he had Snapvines with it. How's Runeterra been? Fun, Drazeki. I think Runeterra is easily the best digital card game on the market at the moment. Its core gameplay is truly fantastical. I think I'm gonna Islander the Cursed Keeper here, just so it's ready to pop next turn. Also, lets me put a 3-2 into play here and get first game. It might be right, it might be wrong to play this. Oh, they're just letting me attack. Interesting. Okay, so I think it's important that I challenge this with the 5-4, so this way they can't use a Mystic Shot to save their Starlight Seer. Well, for reference, wax papers, because Riot is great at communicating with their player base, we know that the metric Riot considers not okay for a single archetype is sustained 15+%, is what they try to standard. God, double chill chant there is such a beating. And again, one of the many things I love about Runeterra is the way in which Riot communicates clearly with us as players. Playing this out as a chump blocker here. But it's important to remember too that, like, again, that 17%, that's Plaza decks. That's not one Plaza deck. Plaza decks includes random BS like what I'm playing, and it includes, you know, the Targon Demacia control deck.
You own what you take.
It feels like we're kind of dead here, huh? It's a big gal. Hitting the Sajani 4 times and then having her on curve is real good. The opponent's archetype is very good, by the way. If you didn't see the highlight of Santa stopping by to play the opponent's deck, I think the opponent's deck's a very good choice for laddering right now, and just the format in general. Ballistic bot was a really solid upgrade to it. Yeah, and the Hecarim Plaza decks I'd even describe as like combo decks. Yeah, Timo Sajani. Harma Zoe, you say? I think I'm actually not supposed to keep Snap in the opener. We have a lot of time to draw it. Darius Draven, Robo Snake Ape. Decimate, and Whirling Death.
Oh, hello there. Let's see what's out there.
While you are correct, kiddo, that Runeterra and digital card games have an advantage that paper boomer card games don't have, in that they can adjust the text on cards. Paper boomer games tend to not use their bans and unbans aggressively enough, in my opinion, because they're too afraid to shake their artificially unregulated stock market. The big problem with paper card games is that most people that play them those paper card games are using them as an investment engine, so those companies are afraid to actually balance things, because they're not balancing a card game, they're balancing people's investment portfolios. Dr. Jazin, thank you for the 13 months. I really appreciate that. Welcome back. I think you can tie a lot of the bad decisions, or the lack of decisions, or lack of things that Wizards has done over the years, to the fact that they're balancing loot boxes rather than balancing a card game. They're balancing a secondary economy. Jen, thank you for the quarter view. I really appreciate that. Welcome back. I have to say, one of the many things I love about Runeterra is that when I make a good suggestion, I literally never have to hear the words, "Yeah, Jeff, that suggestion is good, but we can't do it because finance." "Yeah, Jeff, that suggestion is good, but we can't do it because people's investments."
They grow up so fast.
Well, they're the same thing, Dirty Digits. Their economy is what it is. Their loot boxes are worth what they're worth because of the economy.
Breathe in, breathe out.
So those two things are the same. Do we have patch notes today? No, I don't believe we should get a patch today. I would expect to not have a patch until January because of the holidays. Usually we see patches every 2 weeks, but I would expect that to be a little bit different right now because of the time of year.
They'll see me sooner or later.
But from every fallen, a new seed.
Sunlight guide you, my brethren.
Yeah, right. Most Riot employees are off until the new year.
And here's where I'd paint my constellation.
Nah, that's wrong. Blame the community for finance stuff. That's bullshit. Blaming the community is victim blaming.
Many hands, Maokai.
As is often the case with late stage capitalism, don't put blame on the consumer. The blame is on the greedy people seeking endlessly more profits year in and year out. It is worth noting that Grand Plaza with snap binds means I can only have 5 snap binds at a time. It's a little sad.
I refuse to wilt.
The grove follows.
She's gonna be so happy.
Oh, you're interesting.
No, Riot hasn't announced any of the details of, this was bad. Yeah, this was bad. I shouldn't have attacked into Pale Cascade here. Riot has yet to announce what the other regions are going to be. Yeah, that play was bad. I shouldn't have thrown my Maokai away. Well, they were leaked a long time ago. I'm pretty sure that's not true. I haven't heard anything about official or otherwise about what regions are coming. We saw. Can you have a source on that? Can you source your claim, please? Thank you. Rawr. Read. Yeah, I heard the voice lines for the champion, the latest set, getting data mined. I had not heard anything about. Oh, this is only followers. I'm dumb. I assumed this was about to be a snap fight.
Push back the darkness.
They have icons in the game for Void and Shumia. Where? Could someone just like if they're in the game, like it should be easy for you to link me to them. Again, just like show me a link. Oh, that's a good thought. We could have memorized their thing. So, like, I guess if you believe everything you click on Reddit, that looks like proof. But like those are just like random icons, right? Like, it's very easy to throw a post up. Maybe I'm almost assuredly super jaded, but, like, I could very easily post a bunch of low-res icons.
Get in the portal!
Alright, so next turn we get to Grizzled plus Fading Memories. You should be able to see them in client in your deck games. Okay, sure, neat.
Paint me a stopper playing catch with Zoe. I'm a serious artist now. I paint Sparkle Flex.
Go down, will you?
Oh, it could be, we could be getting a second Daybreak region. That's sweet.
Daylight warms the heart and lights the way.
Alright, let's mess some folks up.
Can confirm I am your uncle. This Zoe Karma deck is interesting because, like, they technically don't have like a sweeper or anything like that. Like, generally speaking, I think of Ionia and Targon as support regions. Like, neither of them have hard removal here. They have like stuns and hushes and stuff. See if they have another Notify here or a Deny. Okay, so notably, I still get to kill Zoe here, though, which is nice.
To get rowdy.
Sweet, thanks, Scars. I appreciate it. Yeah, Riot said they plan to have 10 regions in Runeterra, and this is gonna pop, which will level Lucian.
I'll sleep when they're dead.
So Danger Noodle can no longer kill this. And then Caretaker here is gonna give us a rally, which is nice. Good. I think we're just holding on to this for now. If I draw Snap Vines, this could be real good. That's scary. Star Shaping Ink very likely gets them a finisher here. Well, poop. Is our opponent running a no-win con deck? No, I just played Star Shaping. Star Shaping is a mission.
Everyone's a garden. Come this way.
Be possible that after they release the 10 regions, they'll just add more archetype support for existing archetypes, Deep, Nightfall, etc. Yeah, that's exactly what we'll see, K-Val. Once we eventually see every region added to the game and they're up to 10 regions, we're still going to see more cards added to the game. They're not going to just stop making cards. They'll just release card sets that are only cards from the existing 10 regions, as opposed to each new expansion being primarily cards from a new region with a small amount of every other card. I imagine future expansions, once we have all the regions in, will primarily be rated timestamp by. Will primarily be split between all the regions equally. What did they get with Star Shaping? Have some pesky specters. Read.
The grove follows.
I mean, if we draw up, like, my opponent hasn't shown us a win condition yet. If they continue to just, like, flop around and not do a whole lot here, we could definitely, like, draw a Maokai and obliterate their deck still. Will they rotate sets like Hearthstone does? Yeah, eventually they'll have rotations. I assume we won't see rotations until after we have all the cards, all the regions in, though. So probably, very likely not till 2022 at the earliest.
One star's Whipsy is another spike.
Well, and not only that too, but thinking about how a rotation could work in Runeterra, even if Runeterra catches up to League of Legends in terms of number of champions, we could see different variations of champions, right? Like a different Jinx card, a different Lucian card.
We'll bring peace to Ionia, whatever the cost.
That's new.
Again, just seeing that drawback of Grand Plaza, and that it's just really not good in multiples.
Okay, level 5 level is going to be level 6 level, but I want to still be for level 5 level.
Okay, you taking a break for now? Okay. I'll charge it up. Let me know if you want it again later. Love you, bud. Nolan Girthy, thanks for the follow. Welcome, welcome. Probably dead here. Yeah, double 3 till dead. One of the things that's worth noting that game is Plaza did what I wanted to do in that it allowed us to do something reasonable when we couldn't keep Snapvines in play. Like, it made all of our somewhat weaker cards still decent. Teemo Draven, so almost assuredly a burn deck. I'm gonna mulligan I'm gonna keep Plaza, but I'm gonna mulligan the rest of these, looking for cheaper cards to play before it. Lucian's not amazing, but it's better than drawing a bunch of expensive stuff. Hey, Thoughtnauts, thank you for the 43 months of Prime. It's a really long time. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around.
Push back the darkness.
I don't know. I am definitely of the opinion that I think it's mostly pointless to speculate on what Riot will or won't do with rotation, other things like that, because so far, Riot has shown us that they're willing to innovate in a lot of different areas when it comes to card games, innovation that we typically don't see. So I think, like, waiting and seeing how they approach things is almost assuredly the best approach. Because thinking they're just gonna do what all other card games have done historically speaking, I think is a mistake. No, I don't think that that's likely. Yeah, and like even with rotation, like I think we could see some different things happen with rotation that we don't see happen exactly in other card games.
Let's make it deep. Time to get rowdy. Backfired. Here we go.
We have a Mystic Shot here to keep Teemo alive. I think is the most important thing Runeterra needs going forward. A craft all button in the deck editor.
Swiftly. I love the smell of
That's really good. Runeterra has more features than most other digital card games already have. It desperately needs a craft all button, though. I don't think we're gonna live to get to Overgrown Snapvine, but in case we do, those will be good after it.
War Mason, reporting for duty. Make the Empire proud.
I don't know. While the ideas of skins on your cards are definitely neat, from an accessibility standpoint, I don't think adding champion skins is necessarily a good idea. Because I think it makes it very difficult for newer players to get into the game. A lot of players identify cards based on their artwork, and having to memorize multiple artworks for multiple different cards adds learning curve to the game for very little upside. Now, I think the Go Hard matchup is bad for the Sunny Dragons deck. I think a mid-range unit-based deck like that, Fruvius, is exactly what Go Hard likes to prey on. I keep Islander as a cheap play in the discard matchup to mulligan the rest of these. Perfect. Yeah, this is great, actually. We go 1, 2, 3. Who are we making cheaper here? I think it's a Cursed Keeper.
Oh, hello there.
This is one we don't mind being ephemeral for sure.
2, 3, 4.
I mean, to give you a bit of good advice, changing decks when you hit a bad matchup, it's generally bad. It's generally not great to do if you're looking to ladder efficiently. Wait, are they burn again? I guess Teemo's played in discard aggro sometimes. I'll probably discard aggro, right, with Jinx? So the problem, and this is the other thing, people saying, well, you just have an option to turn the skins off in client. The point of cosmetics and the reason why cosmetics are successful as a monetization route is because whales buy cosmetics to show off what they have to other players. That is a big part of why people buy those things. And letting people disable the cosmetics that you paid money for so they don't see them is a pretty big downside to the people. It's about flexing, yeah. That is largely why cosmetic systems are. I mean, it's fine if you're not enjoying the deck. I'm just telling you from a optimization standpoint, changing off of decks every time you hit a bad matchup isn't good. I wish I could disable real-life status symbols. All cars look like Kias. They're debating if they want to save Teemo there or preserve their life total. Ultimately going with preserving their life total here. I wish I could take back all the money I've spent on League of Legends so I could spend it on Runeterra. I wish I could take back all the money I spent on Artifact and spend it on literally anything else. Valve, biggest scam artist in the gaming industry.
Go ahead, scare me.
What ended up being the catalyst for my big move to Runeterra? I reached out to Wizards of the Coast to ask them if they would provide support for the Magic the Gathering tournament series I had been running on Magic Arena, and they told me they still refused to work with me. And that made me feel very bad, and it made me realize I didn't want to promote their product if I didn't have to. Because doing things like running tournament series and streaming their game constantly makes them lots of money. So that, in conjunction with all the other stuff that they've done poorly in terms of managing their game, was the final thing that pushed me over the top. Especially in comparison to, like, how well Riot, like, all other things aside, like, the way Riot supports their content creators is just, like, above and beyond any other company I've ever worked with. Yeah, I agree, Lampton. I agree with that. Why doesn't Wizards like me? Because I say mean things when they step in it. Because when they make bad decisions, I point out bad decisions that they've made. That's a thought. We could have copied it for the snapby, maybe.
No.
I think I'm just trading with this. This is gonna die to a rocket anyways.
I'm on a roll.
I mean, Amaz, like, physically shoved someone who was basically a Wizards employee at a sanctioned Wizards event. In fact, stuff like that the community would do in Magic really upset me personally too. Like, people that would compare me being critical of shitty business practices that Wizards have to me physically attacking someone, or me. I had people literally compare me to rapists and people that cyber stalked other people, because those are generally the types of people that Wizards wouldn't work with, and like those types of comparisons I found incredibly frustrating. Yeah, like The Magic community is very toxic. Like, there's a reason why when I streamed Magic, I had to use sub-only chat. Like, there are a lot of really obnoxious people there. I don't know much about Amaz as a person. Yeah, but I do know the reason why he was shadow banned from Magic the Gathering was because he basically shoved past someone physically in an unnecessary manner after being told he was in a spot he shouldn't have been.
Push back the darkness.
And that again is very, very different. I think I just end the round here, right? My attacks aren't great, and they're not getting a rocket if I end the round. Nah, I don't know if we need a command for that, Zintoth. Yeah, Amaz like the Hearthstone player. I don't know. And part of me wants to say I don't blame the company for what their fans do, but another part of me also thinks that, like, the way Wizards manages their game encourages players to kind of be upset and rude because of how Wizards treats their player base. Like, I don't think it's just like by accident that's... Yeah, we're gonna copy their spider with fading memories and make some snap mines next turn. Oh, they didn't missile me and kill this? That's so good for me. Yeah, so they're realizing they should have done that.
Duck on my account.
Oh, they also forgot to attack with this. And remember, with the snap vines and these collectors, this is actually lethal, right? Because this is going to create two things that die to the snap vines, and then these drain them. I mean, all content creators make the companies they make games for money. That's why, generally speaking, they tend to support content creators because they understand it's profitable for them. Double collector snap vine burn. All right. There's some fast triggers. Did it change? I think they've been speeding up some of the smaller animations like that. We're a fancy burn deck, kinda in a way. For the record, if you're not a lawyer, I'd heavily discourage you from doing what Disciple just did there in chat, which is offering legal advice on the internet. Because speaking to actual lawyers, that's actually not true. So don't post there's enough bullshit on the internet, don't add to it. Also, I've basically never played music on this stream because streaming with music that you don't have the rights to stream is wrong, it's stealing, it's profiting off of the work that someone else has created. And I've always thought that it is incredibly hypocritical that people who make their living on Twitch asking for subs and for people to support them would steal the work of other people to make their content. Those artists want to get paid for their work just like streamers want to get paid for their work. But Jeff, I'm providing them exposure, and exposure is valuable, Jeff. Actually, people die from exposure, and past that, Not only that, but artists who are okay with being paid in exposure license their music in a way that you can pay them in exposure. One could say it's indecent exposure. Yeah, exactly.
These isles will be cleansed.
Huh? Is Evershade Stalker good? Evershade Stalker might be okay here. Islander gives me a bunch of cheap things to play out, though. What are your thoughts on stuff like Pretzel Rock and other streaming music platforms? I think those are great. I think music. I think it's awesome that there exists music that's licensed in a way that you can play it on Twitch. I think that's a good thing. But again, not all music is licensed that way because many people that create music don't want to be paid in exposure. Yeah, there's entire groups out there that they're happy to just be paid in exposure. To be fair, many people who create music don't have a say in the matter of how they want to be paid. That's not true at all. If you're making music, you're choosing to sign with a record label. Don't try and write off accountability. They made a decision. They made a decision to do that. Oh yeah, we can set up 0 mana Stalker, huh?
Blessed is motion.
Yeah, I agree with that, Niv, but the solution isn't stealing it in the middle. It's also important to recognize when people are like, well, the artist should have all the say about it. Most big produced music things, there's way more than just the artist involved in producing music. There's the audio engineer, there's all of the advertising people that need to get paid, that put effort and energy into those types of things. Like, it's not just clear cut, the artist did all the work and deserves all the profit. And yeah, there's late stage there's late stage capitalism issues involved in there where the people doing the work don't reap a majority of the profits. That's definitely true as well. Is this not gonna make other 0 cost stalkers? We're gonna find out. It doesn't? That's sad. It doesn't say exact copy. Okay, that's good to know. Good jargon thing. I guess this card would be busted. Wouldn't it even be busted? There'd be a lot more build around things you could do with this. If it had, I do get to play Lucian out here, yep.
Don't get in my way.
Every wave is a path.
All in the wrist, see? Bring in the heat.
Something to keep us
I'll sleep when they're dead.
We cannot attack again with Pesky, so I don't have a way to sacrifice him. Not all Riot music is free. This playlist here on SoundCloud is explicitly creator friendly, but not all Riot music is creator friendly.
Where are you?
Where are you?
Slow down, will you? Everyone's a garden.
I have Sam. The current format's great. They did a good job with it.
This is our way.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of different builds of Lucian Plaza. I think the ones not playing, the builds of Lucian Plaza that aren't playing specifically, what's the word I'm searching for? That aren't playing specifically, Blighted Caretaker, I think are misbuilt. You think it's awful? Please explain to me why the format is awful. Please explain. You tell me your point of view, and then I'll give you my perspective. I've mentioned this before, but the one thing Runeterra has really taught me is after playing Runeterra, I have an incredible amount of empathy for game designers. Because Runeterra has really shown me that game players will complain about literal anything. Nothing is sacred. Gamers were a mistake, chat. Gamers were a terrible mistake.
I will tend this garden.
with the meta complaint on organic chicken. Deny, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Oh, are we gonna level Maokai here? We're gonna level Maokai here, right? I am a gamer and I apologize.
Give them grow tall, grow strong.
I missed lethal. That's probably true. So the thing about missing lethal here is that my opponent has 3 cards in hand and 7 mana, chat. So I missed Hearthstone lethal, but there definitely is not a guarantee. There's definitely not a guarantee that they're dead there. Oh, I could have just killed their other 2 things first. Yeah, okay, he would have leveled when they died and then hit them for 1 more. That's a good thought. That's a free reorder, right?
Life triumphs for once.
The meta didn't change at all. Okay, here's a lukewarm take. The meta game no, I think what Harley UK said here is a valid thing to talk about. I think it's actually a really good discussion point. So Harley UK said they're unhappy because the meta didn't change at all as their lead on. That's a good thing. Runeterra not taking the format and flipping it on its head every time a new card set release is a feature. It is not a bug. And it is a feature, not a bug, because a big part of why there are so many balance issues in games like Hearthstone and Magic is because they constantly power creep every set, so that set can be pushed and flip things on its head. If you're someone that wants a card game that constantly has its meta shaken up every card release, Runeterra is not a good game for you to be playing. I would recommend you play something else. In my opinion, and one of the reasons why I love Runeterra is that these decks are constants, and I can find decks that I love and continue to play them. That's a good thing to me.
I must get out of here.
That's a feature. If you, I don't expect the way Riot has balanced and managed this card game so far. I do not expect them to start power creeping wildly and suddenly start printing cards that invalidate entire swaths of things. I would actually be very upset if they did that, because it would be very counter to what they've done so far, and I think that would be a net negative for the game. I think the fact that the deep deck, the very first deck I ever played in this game, is still competitive today, even if it's not top tier, is awesome. And that's a very big selling point. If, in my opinion, if every expansion Runeterra releases from here on out adds exactly one new archetype to the game, I would consider that expansion a success. And people will disagree with me on that conclusion. That's subjective, and you are welcome to say, Jeff, I don't feel that way, and I wouldn't judge success based on that. But in my opinion, I would consider that successful, because I want a game that is stable with a variety of different decks to play in. That's what I personally want from my card game. And if that's different than what you want, that's fine. It doesn't make what you want wrong, but that's not what Runeterra offers as a game. And again, like, I think it's important to highlight that, like, the complaint there from Harlequin isn't invalid, it's just what they're looking for isn't what Runeterra offers. And it's explicitly different than what other card games offer. And I think too often people get caught up in what I want needs to be what everyone wants, and they lose that really important nuance in that, like, well, what I want and what's good for and what the game is trying to do can be different, and that could mean that the game's just not for you.
You accepted what became of us.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, if an expansion creates 3, 4, or 5 new archetypes, that's even better than creating one new archetype. My point was, if even just one new archetype comes out of a 40-card set release, that 40-card set release should be considered a success, in my opinion. Getting even just one new deck is a win in a game like Runeterra, where there's already dozens of decks.
Winter take you.
And I don't even think, I disagree with that, Twin. Like, for example, there's going to be plenty of champions that slot into existing archetypes as upgrades. Like, not every new champion needs to be an entirely new deck, because you can have a not entirely new deck and still have those champions be playable without them making a new deck explicitly. Yeah, like, and this set such a good example of that. Grand Plaza made champions like Hecarim and Garen much better than they previously were. Thanks for watching, Harley Q. And G, I'm just gonna say G, I'm not gonna pronounce your full username, you know why. Thanks for the follow, welcome to the channel. I think I just click OK here, right? Because if I block anything else, they get to try and kill my Neverglade Collector if they have, like, Troll Chant or something. So I think I just hit skip block and let the damage happen. That way this stays alive. Honestly, Pesky Spectre sounds kind of good here. Hey, thanks for the sub gift, Rutabago. Damn it, Bobby. It's hard to be too mad at that, right? Like, I had to, they had to. Swish. Nothing but net, chat. Nothing but net. All skill. Morning Storm. I made a few small changes. Do I want to attack this into here? I don't think so.
I must get out of here.
Yeah, I think I do actually. Clearing bench space actually seems valuable here. Having more things dies levels Maokai up.
My life for Avarosa.
Basically, if you go back and check the deck tech, Storm, the one conclusion I came to while looking at your list was most of the cards you were playing that were good with Snapvines were also good with Plaza. So it felt like it made sense to just be a Plaza deck. We are a little bit low here. If they have some freezes next turn, we could be in trouble. Actually, even just one freeze kills us, right? Yeah, that's all good. Oh, they're killing Maokai. Deal.
My aim is true.
Playing Plaza on turn 3 is typically good, or do you like Joy? I think that's not a black and white question. I think that's a context-specific question.
Please, I have connections.
Hanaru, thanks for the follow. If you're still here, welcome. If they can't kill Snapvines here, we get to make an army next turn.
Go down, will you?
Have some pesky ephemerals, opponent. Just had a patron take their mask off to sneeze. Then put it back on. Oh, please get me off the planet. Which Lucian Plaza deck do I think is the strongest? The one on my website. It's under the aggro section.
The time is right. Strike now.
Alright, at the very least, I can end this set happy having accomplished what we were looking to accomplish here. I can successfully say this is the thing.
Leave the target.
Probably just more repetition, Andy.
There's a chill in the air.
They're not, noxious, so, like, we're not about to get Captain Farron out of this game, so we should be good to go here at this point. Upgrade! Taking money from Bezos' pocket and putting it directly into yours since the government won't do it. 1 month off my sword. Thank you for the 11 months, Saban. I really appreciate that. Welcome back. The summon queue is a little trippy, where it, like, kills them and, like, slowly slides the ball in. Part of me is telling me I should stop there. We've peaked. We're not going to get better than that. But another part of me wants to try and do it at least once more. This deck probably isn't good, but it's definitely great. Double snaps against the aggro deck. All right, we'll see how we do here.
Don't get in my way.
Could you call it a snap keep? I mean, I've heard worse things suggested.
Burn away the shadows.
Come, the journey ahead is
Well, their start is very bad here, which is good for us. I think I'm playing Pesky Spectre on defense here. I think gain 3 is worthwhile. Gain 4 even. Forgot about the shark. Swing low. Shark chariot. Do 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 do. I think it's important that I have as many blockers as possible next turn, so if they don't play out something else for me to challenge, I'm going to play the Hapless Aristocrat. It's a little unfortunate I don't have anything that can kill this turn, but it is what it is. Hey, Fuzzy Jello, thank you for the 1.5 years. I really appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, especially with this, I think I just want max blockers so I can hopefully not get run over next turn. So I'm basically doing this just to pop this. For people that are new to the channel and maybe wondering why people are asking for timeouts and why messages are being deleted, this is one of the best moderated channels you're gonna find on Twitch, and because of that, people often complain when their low effort take gets timed out. So to make fun of people who act like it's a big deal when you get timed out, the regulars tend to ask for timeouts as a joke. This was a big mistake on my part. I was talking there. I should have done this in response to their card, so that way I could have played another unit after I draw it. Alright, didn't matter, but could have. Probably dead here. I think I'm just gaining 6 here. This is a good draw, because it does mean we get to clear these out here at least, which hopefully means we get to survive a little bit longer. Still definitely going to be afraid of Hecarim next turn. Would love to draw a 2-mana, 1 to 2 mana play, so that way we could do something else alongside this Grizzled Ranger. We're still 2 turns off of these Snapvines, unfortunately. Ooh. Huh? I think we're still on just Grizzled Ranger here. It could be right to Islander as well, though. We'll see what they do. I can play this scout attack and then decide if we want to play Islander. Islander on Snapvines could be right. So that way, if we draw another 1-drop next turn, we can put some Snapvines out. The Zoe emote is quite adorable, just like Zoe. One of the things you don't get to enjoy if you're not already a mod on the channel is when someone asks for a timeout, you can see the order that people got them in. There's you'll see like Roller Dude there got hit by Windowhead, Dr. Jazz, and Roth in that order. And then they had another one of these, so that definitely means I want an Islander here, so that way I can kill both of these inside of combat. You must admit that the crafting and collection can be a bit overwhelming for new players. Well, the one thing I would really encourage you to understand as a new player is you don't need anywhere near a full collection to enjoy Runeterra. I'd recommend finding 1, 2, maybe 3 decks that you enjoy, and then just work towards collecting extra cards while you play decks that you're liking anyways. Gives you goals to work towards. Go back. Thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Good afternoon. Almost afternoon. Do they have a sharp sight? No, they just have a glimpse. That's good for me. Sweet. They should have glimpsed this one, right? Because this wasn't gonna die anyways, and this would have. So maybe a small mistake there for my opponent. Blushing Hippo. You don't have to blush here. We're all friends. We're all friends and we don't kink shame on this channel. Alright, so as much as it feels bad to Blighted Caretaker before I Snapvine, I think I need this on defense this turn, right? Loves combo playstyle. Zoe Fizz. Zoe Fizz is like a combo aggro deck, and you can find my preferred Zoe Fizz deck up on my website. It's in the aggro section. I guess Zoe Leeson's also decent too. Zoe Leeson might be a little bit more of a dedicated combo deck if that's what you're into. That one is not on my site. You can find that one on Mobilytics. So Zoe Fizz or Zoe Leeson. Okay, so now we get to Maokai, and then we get to Snapvine and have 2 Snapvines next turn. Because Maokai will make a friend. Whoa! What about 3rd Snapvines, chat? Yes, we have 2nd Snapvines, but what about 3rd Snapvines? Oh, you know what? Was I supposed to play? Maybe I'm supposed to play the ephemeral one there, because I'm gonna trade one of them regardless. If they don't have 2nd Hecarim, we could win here. If they have 2nd Hecarim, we're gonna be in some. We're probably dead to the overwhelm. Because it's gonna gain Challenger. Some defensive riders here, sure. Okay, with the defensive riders, we're not going to be able to push any damage here. We'll get to do this, though. And we just got to fade Hecarim and Rekindler, which is a lot of cards. There's a good chance we die. I've played 3 to 4 matches a day since April, and apparently I now have enough resources to complete my collection. That's sick. Why not attack with my 3-2? Because I don't really want to. Oh, I guess that's fair. I don't mind if this dies. That's a good observation. I think chat's right that I should attack with this 3-2 because I don't mind throwing it away. Because it's better. It would be better as a Snapvine down the line as taking a bench space.
I tire of waiting.
It does not get replaced with a permanent one, unfortunately. Alright, well that's not a Hecarim. They could still peel a Hecarim or a what's it called here? A Rekindler. If they don't, we could be in a pretty good spot though. The tank here implies to me that they don't have it yet. I'm gonna pass for now because I want them to clear my board before I play anything, because I want to be able to get the Maokai to turn into another Snapvine. Yeah, this was their top deck. Usually, that's not true. Our build of this archetype plays pesky, but my build also doesn't play Grizzled Ranger. If I go to 5 here, that's fine.
Sure is dark, eh?
I could play this. This just goes away because it's ephemeral, but it would level Maokai, right? Yeah, I think that's the play. Because, like, Hecarim is one of their outs here, and this obliterates all the Hecarims out of their deck, so it just leaves them Rekindler. So they need one of their 4 remainings to be Rekindler now. Oh, and we get a real Snapvine at the start of turn because of this. Yeah, that's great. That's hilarious. It's actually, they're dead to opens here, right? Sick.
Quit your yapping.
Nice. And I didn't think we could get a better game than last game. What a lovely set. Nice. Please, Kubamas, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Oh yeah, this deck will definitely be a highlight after those last two games. I think I'm pretty happy with what we had going on here overall. It felt like every little bit of the puzzle really mixed in at different points. Like even like our cheeky one-of like Evershade Stalker was good at various points. The big thing to me that stands out in my mind as this deck was successful is this deck felt good, felt fine when we didn't have Snapvines, and it felt fine when we didn't have Plaza. And again, the key to this is leveraging an idea that comes from a similar idea to the other Lucian Hecarim deck that we've played, and that's Blighted Caretaker and Cursed Keeper are both just like good cards on their own that are then extra good with Grand Plaza and Overgrown Snapvine. So the key to making synergy cards like this be most ideal is that you want your deck to be reasonable and playable even when you don't draw your synergy cards, and then you want your synergy cards to just put you into overdrive up onto another level. I don't really think I have anything I would change in here. Like, Maokai was good, but I think he'd be really clunky to draw in multiple, so I don't think that I would add more copies of him. Also, one thing that's key in this is we have 23 units in our decks. It's important to keep your unit count high so you can hit consistently with Stalking Shadows. So, yeah, I was pretty happy. We had, like, Lucian draws, Plaza draws, Maokai draws where we obliterated their deck, and then Snapvine just, like, going big over the top, like in those last couple of games. All right, at any rate, we're not done with Runeterra for the day, so don't go anywhere. We've got at least one more deck. We're floating up near 600 people, though. If that stays true for the next hour or so, we're going to do a fourth deck today as well. If you are new to the channel, I